The Outer Worlds is coming to the Nintendo Switch in June, but it seems like the physical version of the game might not be what people were originally hoping for. May is quickly becoming a destination for gaming news, as it appears that both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X will be unveiled. And finally, Nintendo Switch scalping reaches a new low due to a bot that is causing havoc when you try to buy a Nintendo Switch online. What's going on, guys? I'm RGT85. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. So the Outer Worlds and the Nintendo Switch have had a very interesting relationship. Originally, it didn't seem like the Outer Worlds was going to come to the Nintendo Switch. The game, of course, originally released on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, and really this game was sort of the spiritual successor to the Fallout franchise. Now, Fallout has obviously gone in somewhat of a different direction with games like Fallout 76, but the Outer Worlds looked to sort of bring that classic Fallout gameplay back into the limelight, and it seemed like the game was very well received when it released on the other platforms. Then a Nintendo Switch version of the game was announced, and a lot of people, including myself, were surprised and actually very happy, because I always feel like a Fallout game makes perfect sense on the Nintendo Switch. Like, why is Fallout 3 not on the system? This would be a perfect game to play either in docked mode or especially in handheld mode, as Fallout has never really had a full-on fledged game where you could play the game in handheld mode on any sort of system. So I was really looking forward to the Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch because it seemed like a good match. Now, of course, originally the game was going to be a digital release only, but due to real-world events, the game was then given a physical release, and I was very excited for that because I do prefer to buy my Nintendo Switch games physically, like a lot of people do. There's nothing wrong with buying games digitally, but some people do prefer to buy their games physically. So I really didn't mind waiting a little bit longer for the Nintendo Switch version of the game, as it was delayed due to real-world events, in order to get a physical edition of the game, because I was under the impression that the physical edition of the game would have the complete game on it. But it seems like, well, there's a little bit of an asterisk about this, because evidently a couple weeks ago it was announced that there would be a download required on day one for the Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch, and it's not a very small download. It's actually like a 6 GB download. So what does this download actually contain? It's actually going to optimize gameplay, provide high resolution textures for the game, and include some other fixes. But really, I'm kind of wondering, well, what's on the actual cartridge then? Is the entire game on the cartridge, and these are just some additional benefits that you can get, such as the high resolution textures? What are the textures being used on the game? Are they like 240p textures? It seems like there's a lot of questions going on with the physical edition of the Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch. But really, the main question that I have is the entire game on the cartridge? Is the whole thing on the cartridge and this download is just optional, or is it going to be a mandatory download? Now, we have seen things like that before, where there are mandatory downloads for physical versions of the game, as there's only a small portion of the game on the cartridge and the rest you have to download. Can you just simply buy this game and get, I guess, a weaker experience if you just get it on the physical cartridge without the download? I don't know. Now, for me personally, I still am going to buy the Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to get the physical edition of the game, and I will just download this texture pack with all the little fixes in it and everything. But it's definitely sort of a weird message. Is this a mandatory download? Is this an optional download? What do you actually get on the cartridge? Is the full game on the cartridge, and is this just some sort of improvements? But do you have to, in order to access the game, download this patch? There's definitely some questions going into it. Let me know in the comment section down below if this is sort of going to sway your decision to maybe pick up another version of the game, or are you cool with having to do a download for the physical version on the Nintendo Switch? Next up, everyone is very hungry for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X information. Obviously, the Xbox Series X was unveiled at Video Game Awards 2019. We gotta look at it, we gotta look at the system, we gotta look at Hellblade. Of course, Sony has been quiet about the PlayStation 5. We did see the DualSense controller revealed for the PlayStation 5, which sort of caused a split in the online community. The color scheme obviously was very interesting for the controller as well. But as far as concrete information, games that are going to be available, a deep dive of the system, and of course the price of these systems, we are sort of just up in the air. There have been rumors circulating that the PlayStation 5 is looking at about a $500 release point. Will the Xbox Series X be a $500 system, or potentially a $600 system? Well, it looks like all these questions are going to be answered soon, and very soon, as in next month, because Video Game Chronicles is reporting that they have heard that both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X will be officially unveiled during presentations in the month of May. Now, obviously, this sort of makes sense due to what's happening with real-world situations. generations. E3 2020 is no longer a thing, and while Sony obviously wasn't going to unveil the PlayStation 5 during E3 since they weren't going to be there anyways, a lot of people thought that the Xbox Series X could get the full unveiling at Microsoft's presentation during E3 2020, but obviously things have changed and now schedules are being readjusted. So I think this makes sense for both of these systems to be unveiled in the month of May, and I'm really looking forward to getting more information on these systems, especially the PlayStation 5, just because there has been so much mystery. Outside of Godfall, which is a third-party game, we haven't seen anything for the PlayStation 5. So I'm wondering what Sony is doing with the PlayStation 5. Of course, there's going to be the price points. That'll be a very interesting debate as well, showing games running on these systems, showing the features of the systems as well. So I think May is definitely shaping up to be a very exciting month. Now, the real question I have though is which company is going to strike first? Who is going to show their hand first when it comes to their next generation system? Will it be Microsoft or will it be Sony? I honestly feel like Sony needs to be the aggressor in this situation. Microsoft has definitely been the more aggressive company when it comes to the Xbox Series X versus the PlayStation 5. I feel like I know so much more about the Xbox Series X, more so than I know about the PlayStation 5. So I would like to see Sony come out first and fire that first shot, show their system, show what the system is going to be capable of, and talk about things like price points and whatnot. All I know is May is shaping up to be a very exciting month, and I'm definitely looking forward to both of these systems being unveiled, and hopefully it comes sooner rather than later. And finally, a couple days ago on the channel, we talked about Nintendo Switch prices just being absolutely through the roof right now due to, of course, real-world situations. Animal Crossing has been very successful, and now a lot of people are like, well, I want a Nintendo Switch and I want Animal Crossing because it seems like the perfect quarantine game. Now, because of this, of course, prices for the Nintendo Switch have gone through the roof. You can't really just stroll into a normal store anymore. You can't go into a GameStop or a Best Buy, just walk right in and pick a system up off the shelf because of what's happening in the world. So Switch prices are hitting like $500 now for the standard system. The Nintendo Switch Lite is hitting $300 plus. It's definitely very hard to get your hands on a Nintendo Switch, and people are paying premium prices for these consoles due to, of course, this limited availability. Now, I don't necessarily hate that. It's basically just your standard open market thing. Nothing has a value unless somebody gives it a value. So if somebody's willing to pay $400 for a used Nintendo Switch system due to supply constraints, like, you might as well sell it for that price point. Now, the thing I do have a problem with though is when you create an unfair advantage of getting stock of them, because that's a whole nother issue. And right now, that is exactly what is happening. There's a new program called BirdBot that is being used that automatically lets people know when a Nintendo Switch comes back into stock at retailers such as Walmart, Best Buy, and GameStop. And essentially, they can add this system to their cart and do the whole checkout process. So obviously, these websites have been restocking things. Best Buy, Walmart, and GameStop have been restocking systems. But now this BirdBot program is essentially a program that allows them to be notified when the systems come into stock, buy up all the systems, and then get all of these systems. People are using this to order in bulk whenever restock becomes available at these sites, and then they flip them for a profit simply by using the program. Now, to me, it's one thing if you want to go out to like a store and camp out for a new product and then buy the systems, because I feel like you're actually doing something. You're actually dedicating your time to it. You're having to go to the store. You're having to purchase these systems with your own time. But if you're simply using a program to do it all, it's honestly pretty disingenuous. Really though, there's not much companies can do to stop this beyond possibly like limiting orders by capping how many systems you can get at checkout by making it like 1 to 2 systems or something. And I honestly don't foresee these companies even doing something like that, because A, they would have to take the time and effort to do something like that, and B, they probably don't care, because at the end of the day, they're making their money one way or another. If one person buys 50 systems or 50 people buy one system, it doesn't really matter. As long as those systems sell and they are getting profit from these systems and generating sales, they don't really care. Now, really, to me, it's a definite slippery slope with supply and demand, of course, but it just sucks, as this definitely gives people an unfair advantage compared to someone who just wants to actually buy the system for themselves, because, of course, now they have the ability to just use this program, and this program does everything for them. They don't have to worry about even like checking to see if these products are being ordered. When these systems become available in stock, the program automatically orders it for the person using the program, and then bada boom, they have a whole supply of Nintendo Switch systems to sell on places like eBay or the third-party Amazon market. So really, it's a very slippery slope. I don't like using technology to give people people an advantage. I know some people will disagree with it. You know, it really just comes down to supply and demand. If somebody wants something bad enough, I guess they will do anything to get it, but it's definitely a very slippery slope. So let me know in the comments down below where you sort of stand by this. Does the bird bot bother you? Is this something that you feel is giving people an unfair advantage, or do you think it's kind of genius to do something like this and sort of take advantage of a situation where Nintendo Switches are limited in supply? At the end of the day, folks, if you don't have a Nintendo Switch, just wait it out. Just wait it out. Supplies are coming, more products are coming, and hopefully things like resellers will be able to not make as much money on these systems in the future because of the increased supply of the systems available on the marketplace. Technology, what a blessing and a curse. Alright, and that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below. What do you think of this Outer Worlds situation? Are you still going to pick up the game physically? Or are you just going to buy the game digitally? Or are you going to skip this version and get it on another platform? Or you already have it on another platform? What do you think about the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X reveals happening in May? Which company do you think is going to go first? And the bird bot. What do you think of the bird bot? Because I'm sure there's going to be some great discussions in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, like I said, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.